Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Like too fast when you do what you want.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another one of my videos, guys. I am almost to 2K subscribers, believe it or not. I have been working so hard on this channel, guys. Lord knows I have been pushing out videos on this channel, so I would definitely appreciate it if you guys subscribe down below and be a part of the family, okay? But for today's video, I'm gonna be doing a little advice video. I'm gonna be giving you guys a few tips on how to set boundaries with family members or parents in general. I think this is for young people who are just having issues with setting boundaries with parents into their adulthood, because setting boundaries with parents when you're, you know, like 15, 16 is different from like when you're actually becoming an adult. It could be pretty difficult, so I'm just gonna give you guys a few tips on how to actually set boundaries with family members and parents. So if you guys are interested in learning these tips on how to set boundaries with family, just continue watching. First step on how to set boundaries with your parents is to be clear and direct when communicating your boundaries to them. So when you're communicating your boundaries with your parents, you want to be confrontational, but you also want to be respectful at the same time, because they are your parents, all right? So if you have a certain boundary that you want to you know, let them know, like maybe they want to come over your house all the time and you kind of want your space, you can be confrontational about it and let them know, but also still be respectful. Like, just don't be like, you know, don't be snarky and stuff like that to your parents, because at the end of the day, they are still your parents. So you want to find a way to just be respectful and yet confrontational at the same time. I like to say, you know, it's good to be assertive, right? So assertive is getting your point across and standing up for yourself without being rude and disrespectful, right? So you can be assertive, you can be aggressive, or you can be passive, or you can be passive too. So a passive person is somebody who just lets everything just be what it is. It's okay, mom, you can come over whenever you want. It's okay. You can you know, ask me for money and I could give you, and I can give it to you, and you know, there's no boundaries at all, right? That's a passive person. An aggressive person is somebody that, you know, just explodes and just gets angry at every situation, and they, you know, they have their boundaries, but they don't really know how to express it properly, so they express it with anger, you know? But the best way that I think that you should be is an assertive person. Like, you still you have your boundaries, you make them known in an assertive way, but you're not being disrespectful. So that's the kind of approach that you want to have with your parents, is just to be assertive. Be an assertive person. And when you're being clear and direct with your parents, you want to kind of pinpoint what is actually the thing that's bothering you and why. So what is the exact thing that's bothering you, and why is it bothering you, you know? So you want to kind of conclude that with yourself, like, what is the thing that's bothering me and why is it bothering me? And then you want to kind of express that to your parents, obviously. The second tip is to let go of guilt. So sometimes we can get a little, you know, we get a little guilty because we're like, who am I to be setting boundaries with my parents? They brought me into this world. I shouldn't be setting boundaries with them. You know, it's okay. They could do whatever they want. But no, do not feel guilty about setting boundaries, because you are still a person at the end of the day, and you deserve to have your boundaries and, you know, your limitations on things. It is very important to just not feel that guilt. You know, your mental health is the most important thing. Like, if you're not good, how are you going to be good for other people, right? So don't let your parents determine how your life's gonna go or how your mental health is gonna go. Like, just prioritize yourself and understand that if you need something, if you need a certain boundary set, or if you need some space, you know, it's okay to have that space. It's okay to take a break from your family sometimes, take a break from your parents, and just step back a little bit and kind of analyze what's going on. You know, you don't always have to be calling your parents 24/7, being around them 24/7. You know, don't make your parents make you feel guilty for not spending time with them or for not doing certain things, because at the end of the day, I always say, at the end of the day, your parents lived their life already. Like, they were your age once, and they were probably doing the same things to their parents, okay? So don't let your parents make you feel guilty for not doing certain things, or not answering the phone, not you know, spending time with them, or whatever the boundary is that you're trying to set with them. Don't let them feel guilty for you setting that boundary, because at the end of the day, you are an adult and you're trying to live your own life and do exactly what they did, right? Sometimes parents get a little carried away because they want to kind of control things, and they want to make sure their child ends up, you know, not like them, or they have the best outcome. But at the end of the day, you have to live your life and you have to experience things yourself. So you can't let your parents kind of, you know, hold your hand along the way and kind of guide you every step of the way, because you have to make those decisions in your life at the end of the day. The third tip is just to understand your rights as a person. Like, we are all human beings and we have our own rights, you know? We have a right to feel comfortable. We have a right to feel like, you know, there's not people interrupting our peace, you know? Sometimes you want that independence in your life, you know, you want that independence. You want to have control over your life. You don't want to have somebody hanging over you and you feel like, you know, you can't do certain things because your parents, because they said this. Like, you want to naturally have control over your life, because as you're growing older, you want that independence. It's natural to want the independence. So just know your rights as a person, and that'll help you be more comfortable to set boundaries with your parents, okay? My fourth tip is to create a little support system. So surround yourself with family and friends that actually respect your boundaries. And this is gonna kind of teach you that it is possible for someone to respect your boundaries, right? So hang around friends that are aware of your boundaries and that you've told your boundaries. And as you see them respecting your boundaries, then it'll become more familiar to you that it is not impossible for someone to respect your boundaries, right? So it's not impossible for your parents to respect your boundaries. They just have a hard time doing it because they're your parents, right? So you want to kind of create like your little support system of people who understand you and respect your boundaries. And whether that's your friend, whether that's your family, whether that's a therapist that you talk to, you want to just surround yourself by people that actually, you know, understand you and understand your boundaries, because that'll make you feel more comfortable, like I said. My fifth tip is to recognize that setting boundaries is actually self-care, guys. Like, it's self-care. And it's not you necessarily rejecting others, it's just you taking care of yourself. Like, we hear self-care is like getting massages or getting your nails done or your feet done, but self-care is really having your boundaries and sticking to them, you know, and not letting people just run over you all the time, you know. It may be hard to have your parent, you know, to just set boundaries with your parents because they're your parents, and you know, like, they gave birth to you, you feel bad, you know. But just remember that all this is a part of your self-care. You don't want to have anxiety and stress over your parents. They should be the last people that should be stressing you out. And I know, because I come from a Caribbean household, whoever is listening to this, if you come from a Caribbean household, you understand and you get it, all right? Because Caribbean parents, they'll stress you out, you know? But yeah, you can't let your parents stress you out and give you all that anxiety and stress. You want to remember that setting boundaries is a part of your self-care. So just like you get your nails done, your toes done, get massages, just remember that that is a part of your self-care too, because everyone has their own limitations. Like, some people don't like arguing in public in a relationship, and that is something that is their boundary. Or some people may not like a dirty household, and, like, you know, if you're living with somebody and they have the house all dirty and stuff like that, that's your boundary. Like, you don't like having somebody that you have to clean up after, or having a dirty space. That is something that you care about yourself and that you should uphold, and let the other person know, like, you know what, I don't like a dirty house. Like, we gotta make something work out, right? So just like your parents are somebody that you have a relationship with, and that you're in a relationship with at the end of the day. So you can talk to them and let them know, like, this is something that I don't like, right? All right, so my last tip is to let your parents acknowledge you as an adult. Like, let them see that you are an adult and you're growing into an actual person that's gonna have their own family one day, their own children. Parents tend to still see you as a child, so you have to have those deep conversations and start setting those boundaries now, so they can start seeing you as an adult. Because a lot of parents literally still see their kid as a baby, and even if they're like 21, 23, 24, they still see their child as a kid. So you gotta kind of set different rules and set different boundaries and show them that, you know what, I'm not a kid anymore. Like, I'm an adult. Like, treat me as such. And trust and believe they'll fall in line and they'll start understanding, like, okay, she's doing her thing. She's being more independent. She's out here, you know, she's actually an adult and she's growing up in our eyes. And, you know, trust and believe parents will definitely start falling back after they see you, you know, standing up for yourself and setting your boundaries and just being more assertive. Yeah, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new and you're able to take these tips to live a more stress-free and healthier life. You know, it is hard to set boundaries sometimes, especially with your parents, but I feel like it is very essential in order for you to move on with your life and be able to create your own family and things like that. So I hope these tips definitely help you and you're able to make that next step in setting those boundaries. If you guys like videos like this, definitely hit the like button and let me know down in the comments. I just love giving you guys advice and tips like that. And yeah, definitely subscribe down below if you're not already, because I'm going to be posting a lot of fashion, makeup, and vlog videos. So yeah, you don't want to miss out on that. So definitely subscribe down below and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
My new bitch look like Halle Berry, but she don't love me, she too scary. My old bitch front like Jackie Brown.